Alright guys, so in the vise we have a Ahrex FW510 hook. This happens to be a size 12, and we've got a 1/8 inch bead on there. I'm using some Vivus 50D as my thread, and we're going to go ahead and start just by doing touching turns all the way down the shank of the hook. We're going to take this pretty far into the bend, but first we're going to attach just a piece of Senyo's Predator wrap, and that's going to be our underbody material there. This one happens to be green with black barring, so I do like some of that that gold flash, that UV essence that it has. And you can see we take it about, just to the point of the barb there. So I'm going to wrap this forward. You can see it creates a really cool segmentation. And I just double it over. It's pretty much a habit for me now. I just lock all my materials in that way. Next up, we're going to have a little bit of midge diamond braid. You could use standard diamond braid size if you want to go bigger. This happens to be in like a, chartreuse or insect green color. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold it in place, and I'm going to allow flow to saturate into the body. And then I'm going to go ahead and cure it with the bench light, and you can see it's going to hold to that profile of the hook and really look gelatinous, kind of like a real caddis would in the wild. Next up, a little bit of iced up brown. Now this is just going to be a pinch. You're not going absolutely bananas here. So it's just going to give us a good little spot to pop our wings off of. Because as these caddis pupate, they're going to have wings. And for that, I'm going to use some medallion wing sheeting. This is a buggy light done. You can use the browns. Anything except for like the gold color seems to work really well. Gold's pretty hyper unrealistic. It seems like it's an expensive material, but when you really look at it, you're probably going to get about 100. You could tie 100 or 200 bugs out of that one package. I do a little origami in the background here, and or not origami, but making snowflakes like you were a kid in kindergarten. So what I do is I make the wings kind of equal, and they have a fold, and I just use that to help secure them in place, create durability. And I have really fat hands, and this is a really fine material, so I apologize for my chubby fingers being in the way, but that's going to create our little pupating wings there. And if they're not perfect, don't trip out. I mean, fish are still going to eat it. It's just an accent. And this is some CDC in a brown, and natural would also work here if you can just find it in natural. That's a pretty good colorway as well. Natural is just obviously going to be a little bit brighter and lighter than this. And this is some hairs here. It's a bloody black. A lot of guys use this for leech patterns, but I find like that red hue in there seems to really kind of fire them up a bit. So I put the dubbing down, and then I'm going to palmer my wing case over the top of it, or my soft tackle over the top of it. And it's just a few turns, and I lock it in and trim it off. You don't want to get down too far into the meat of that feather, because it'll just cause you trouble and headache and become really bulky too fast for you. Adversely, if you're really particular about the amount of bulk, you can spin that in a dubbing loop as well. But I've never found it to be a major issue. So right now I'm stripping off some bronze mallard flank, and you want to get the choice ones with the good barring and all of that. You could use like a Coq de Leon here, I imagine, or just straight mallard, dyed wood duck or brown or something like that. And I just throw those wings out kind of wild, and I'll go ahead and whip finish right here. They're going to relax quite a bit once you get them in the water, so don't be intimidated by how far they stand out right now. I'll trim the thread, And I'll trim that wing case. And I'm just going to color with olive. I like to add variations in colors and, you know, try to break it up just a bit. You can do, I'm doing olive and brown. And just a drop of flow up top here. Cut my needle for big drops. And we'll cure it up with the bench light. And you can see those guys are going to push down, and it's just a really cool little caddis pattern, tons of movement, and hopefully it helps you guys catch some fish. Enjoy.